it was huge for us. You know, that's the Larry we're all accustomed to seeing, and credit to him. You know, he worked his tail off, I said it earlier, to get himself, you know, ready to come in and play and be who he is to this team. Without Larry and his production tonight, you know, that game is a tougher game to win for us. So we're all grateful to have him back.
It's also got to be satisfying for the team, you as a staff, just you're in another clutch situation like we've been in the last week, and you guys worked on it during practice yesterday, but to see it translate from the practice court to live action had to be a good feeling for you.
For sure. We'll definitely take it. Anytime that we can carve out wins, if it's a close game, we'll take it. But we know we still have work to do, but we're definitely proud of the guys.
Trey didn't score in the first 46 minutes, two big ones in the last 2 minutes. What do you think about him just, you know, not really being in rhythm, but still stepping into those ones and making?
He was good. He's resilient. And, you know, I mentioned to him when he was on the bench, we subbed him out for a little bit, that you're on the scouting report. Teams know what you're capable of doing. And now your energy has to go to another level. You got to use your shot fake, drive, share the basketball with a teammate, or go finish, get to the free throw line. But, you know, that was a growth moment for him. He just stuck with it, and he hit 2 big shots down at the end of the game.
Yeah, and you guys generated a couple of those baskets with Brandon and Zion in the pick and roll. Just what do you think about those 2 guys working together down the stretch to generate some of that offense?
It was great. Brandon and Z, CJ and Z, sometimes Z handling. And I think that is what makes our team unique. And we just got to continue to tighten the screws with that and, you know, find a home at the end of games, run our sets with force, with pace. And I thought we did that tonight. Settle each other down and get a quality look. And for the most part, we took care of the basketball. We got to finish possessions a little bit better, but I thought our defense was really solid.
This is the third time tonight that CJ, BI, and Z all scored 20 in the same game. Just what do you like about just the way they worked together tonight and kind of played off of each other?
It was fantastic. Like I said, we've all been talking about it. We've talked about it in practice. We've watched film together. How can we hold each other accountable and win these type of games and be better in these type of games? And give CJ, give BI, Z credit. They went out and they played well tonight. They did what they needed to do to win. And I thought Zion's defense was incredible. He was impactful on both ends of the floor, rebounding the ball, sharing the basketball with his teammates. And that we want to build on this momentum.
Yeah, speaking about his defense, part of that also is his rebounding. That's something that's really picked up lately. How big is that for your team when he's really contributing in that part of his game?
It's big for all of us. It's big for our team when our guards, our wings rebound. We can't rely just on JV. And the reason is that when those guys rebound, it initiates the break. The ball is already in their hands. They're taking off, they're going, and they can score before the defense is set. That's some of our best basketball when we play that way.
Willie, was there any kind of consideration maybe not putting Trey back in the game super late? Yeah, just, you know, I think missed a long one. He had made one all game long, but you went back to him. Was there, like I said, any kind of hesitation or no?
It was definitely no hesitation on my part. And that's the communication that I have with him, the trust that I have with him is that it doesn't matter. You got to have a really high next play speed. Okay, you miss one, you make a mistake. The next play is coming pretty quickly. So don't hang your head. You know, don't wear your emotions on your sleeve. Get ready for the next play. And to his credit, he was able to knock down 2 really big shots for us.
And Larry's defensive numbers, right? The steals and blocks, self-explanatory. But what else did you see out in the court? For instance, I saw screens. I thought you got Brandon Ingram going in that third quarter. And also he was really communicating. You know, we've missed that Larry out there.
Yeah, for sure. Larry was good, man. It's good to have him back. You can feel his presence on the court right away. His high IQ, his ability to rebound the ball. Offensively, when we touch the paint, now you're kicking it to him. He can knock down shots, but then he goes up and finish at the end of the game. So having the combination of Larry, JV is great to have those guys back on the floor.
Hey, Willie, kind of sticking with to the Larry thing, but what was he kind of like just before the game? I mean, could you sense that he was really anxious to get back on the court?
Yeah, he was ready. He was definitely ready to play. It's been a build-up to get to this point, but he was ready, and we were all ready to get him on the floor. we missed that. We missed that flexibility to be able to have guys that can guard multiple screens, can switch. You can see when he was in with that certain group, we were readying all the screens. That's our terminology for switching, and it was hard for those guys to score on us. So we miss having that with Larry.
Coach, sticking on the defensive end, since that 9-turnover game in Charlotte, Brandon Ingram has had multiple blocks and multiple steals in every game since. Is that something where he's got new defensive directives from you, or is he just dialing it up and playing that great on both ends of the court?
Yeah, he's accepting the challenge. We're challenging all of our guys to be better defensively and offensively. And BI, he has the capability with his size, his athletic ability to be a really solid two-way player. We know what he can do offensively, but now it's like, let's lock into our defense, because when we do, our offense is that much better.
Yes, and CJ mentioned at practice a couple of days ago, getting some movement going. You mentioned after the last game, the offense was kind of congested. Do you think it kind of worked itself out a little bit more tonight with just the off-ball movement and getting the action?
I thought it was better tonight for sure. I thought CJ initiated that run to start the game. He was intentional about pushing the pace, taking quality shots. If he didn't have shots, he shared the basketball, get to the free throw line. He was really good. But overall, we moved the ball better. And for us, it's really about when the game does slow down, we still have to get into our sets with force. And I thought we did that.
We joked about it before, but what's it like just having all of your guys? Really, put your vision on the court rather than, hypothetically, what it could look like, being able to actually see it.
It's great. It's a blessing to have all of our guys, for the most part, healthy, right? But now this is the work. This is when we have to work at it. It's not going to come easy just because we're healthy. Now we have to hold each other accountable to playing at the level and the standard that we know we can play at. Tonight was a really good start in that direction.
Coach Green, you guys kept this game in front of you for all 4 quarters. Jazz's biggest lead all game was only 2 points. What aspects of tonight's game can you credit that to?
It starts with our defense. Our game plan discipline was at a high level. Utah does a really good job of setting those pinaways, and they got guards that are really good at getting into the paint, kick out for threes, and I thought we did a good job defensively, and that's where the game started for us.
Coach, looking at Zion, 2 assists away from a triple-double,
Yeah.
double the other night. He's responded to that criticism a few weeks ago pretty well, wouldn't you say?
He has, and that's the key for him, is just blocking out all the noise. We know that inside of our locker room, our organization, we have each other's backs, and we'll block out that noise. He'll block it out, and we got to go out and play. That's the deal for us. Just keep stacking days, and when we do that, we'll be okay. All right, thank you.
All right. A very talkative, long extra presser from head coach Willie Green as the Pelicans get the dub. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this thing for the Pelican Postgame Report recap. Pels top Jazz 112-105. For all things Pelicans, we in this thing. I'm Big Kid. We got DC and Lexxah going to chime in on the Pelicans finally getting the dub. They were able to close out this time around 112-105 over the Utah Jazz, making it happen. So shout out to the fam. Y'all, please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We are in this thing. So DC, Lex, welcome on in. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all being in the stream as well. 504 Doc, thank you for the super chat, sir, for all things Pels family. That's right. Shout out to you, 504 Doc. Thank you for the super chat, brother. All right, so anyway, the Pels break a 2-game slide. They beat a Jazz team that's been problematic for the Pelicans. It's a hustle team. They did their thing, but the Pelicans kind of rounded up. Still some wrinkles there, but nonetheless, they're learning as they get the dub over the Jazz. So, Lex, we're going to start with you. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Please feel free to chime on and let us know what you feel about the Pels finally getting a victory over the Jazz.
Yeah, good win. It's been a long time coming. We've been having problems with this team for a couple of seasons. So it's nice to get a win against a team that's been shutting us out, or shut us out for a season. Um, guys played well. I I'm glad Trey came through at the end there, shooting those 2 threes. But I would love to see him, be more acclimated in the game. Larry Nance, he had a great game. It was good to have him back. You could tell just with his presence and just how active he was, how much we missed a guy like him. Just being smart on that end. And he was really acclimated because I know earlier in the season, he just seemed like he wasn't too much in the game, like he was out there, but I know he was dealing with injuries on and off. So I hope he's all the way close to 100. I know nobody's ever 100, but he just really looked like he was really tuned in this time around after being out from an injury. But yeah, I really liked his activity. I mean, his numbers really don't jump out at you, but I mean, just the small things that he was doing, it really made a huge difference in the game. Yeah, I like uh, I think Zion, he almost had a triple double. He seems to be getting more going after those boards more consistently. So I hope he keeps that up because it would be nice. I know JV, he didn't have the greatest game, but it'd be nice to have 2 guys that are walking double doubles. So that would really be nice because we need more consistency, not just from JV getting boards, but from somebody else. And we've talked about that with Z. Um, yeah, I think the team played solid. I mean, there was some hiccups, things I saw that they can definitely improve and get better at. Some parts of the game weren't really smooth, got kind of sloppy. Um, but I am glad that we got the win. But definitely, just with all this talent, just definitely want to see them, continue to get better, so they can really, really be a force in the league. Right now, I just think that it's going to be, I think it's going to be baby steps, but they just gotta keep chiming away at it. So that's all I got.
All right, thank you, Lex. Yeah, and speaking of Larry was really awesome in this one, DC. 9 points in 25 minutes. He had plus 16 on the plus minus. He finished with 7 boards and 5 steals in the matchup. He even hit a 3-pointer today. He was really big for the Pelicans coming off that bench. Rebounding, making passes, just communicating on defense. He steadied up everything toward the back end of the game. We were missing a lot of that. So what's your take, bro?
Yeah, man, that was the difference. Larry seemed like the team played with a little bit more of excitement. Maybe they were happy he was out there. Maybe they were looking to avenge themselves from how they played in their last game. But I liked everything I saw tonight. I mean, we had the chance to get in clutch minutes and crumble again, and we exercised those demons tonight. So I think it was masterful how everything went. I don't care how they won, just the fact they were able to win this game, because we haven't won a game like this all season. When we get within 3 points, we did, we ain't not won none of them games. I think we're 0 and what?
0 and
0 and
6.
7. We were 0 and 7
No,
till
0 and
tonight.
6.
That was before we lost Memphis, Lex. It went to 7 because they showed that graphic during the game
Oh, okay.
before we lost. But
Oh,
yeah, so we were 0 and 7 in those clutch time minutes, and y'all saw everything they put up before the game. 30th in the league, and I think it was attempts or field goal percentage in that time. We had so many negatives as far as playing in clutch minutes, and we were able to edge it out. Two big shots by Trey. I thought Zion, Bi, and CJ all played well, and Larry Nance came and gave us that dynamic, mobile, running big. Even though he's Larry Nance is about 6'8", 6'9", maybe.
Yeah.
Not exactly a 7-footer, but he plays big, and you saw it tonight. So
Oh, that dunk
just
on what's his name was nice. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
on Kessler, yeah. But
Yeah.
I just liked all the little things he was doing, like helping everybody on defense. His screens, they're better, better than JV. Maybe it's because he's quicker, but just all the little things he does, man. You see these things impact the win. And I was going over some positives with Big Q when we were talking about him, and sure enough, it shows up tonight. Like when Zion had the point Zion thing going, and we were first in the West and all that last year. We forget that Larry Nance was playing huge minutes during that, and he wasn't hurt. So maybe he's just another added little something there that changes things, and especially later in games, and just helps us to be able to score efficiently when we go through those laws, man, and also be better defensively because Larry went in there tonight and got 5 steals. It was rough for him, at times with Utah, but they got Saxton and what's your boy named Merkerman. They kind of did their thing a little bit, made it tough. But the Pels got to win, man. So I'm just excited about that. I know if they beat this Utah team, we could have a lot of faith in them to go in and possibly beat the Lakers. So if they would have lost this game, I don't see any way we would have been able to beat the Lakers on New Year's Eve because it just would have been too much of a bad taste in your mouth with a team that's better than the team you just played coming in that you also seem to have a problem beating as of late. So many opportunities to get them, and we kind of, fell in the clutch. So, contrary to popular belief, I would actually like to see the Pels get more games down the stretch where the score is close, so we can figure out what we need to do efficiently to be able to win these type of games. Because if we want to be the type of team we want to be and actually do something in the playoffs, these are the games you're gonna have when you play meaningful basketball and you're getting into the middle of the year in the playoff season. You got to be able to win when everything's stacked up against you and they ain't got much time left on the clock. So shout out to the Pels, the whole team, man. I think everybody played awesome tonight as far as their energy and effort and execution when it mattered most. But and also winning a game where everybody didn't play their best. But we did get contributions from everybody across the board on the team and even the bench. And it's an excellent team win.
Like you were right. Beginning of the year, ankle here, groin here, little things that just hadn't healed up yet. But I feel great. I'm appreciative of Stan Williams was massive in this. Brandon Demas was huge in this. Casey Hill, player development. Darnell Lazar, the training staff. These guys were awesome in terms of the work we put in and getting myself back to myself. It feels great.
Yeah, I mean, what can you just share about however the decision was made to let's give him a few weeks off, let's let him get right, and so you come back and look like you did tonight.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. It wasn't. I didn't want to take time off, but I mean, it all started because I couldn't play because I kind of broke my rib, so I had to be off. I had to be off regardless, but we kind of took that as normally you just rehab and stay ready. This was more than stay ready. It was get ready, because I wasn't before. So, there was a lot that went into a lot of explosion work, a lot of quickness, a lot of lifting, and we just saw conditioning change. My body changed, and I'm just so thankful to everybody that took part in it. But it just feels good to be back healthy.
Yeah, and with that, you had a lot of time to kind of evaluate these teams, watch from the side, and see what was going on. For you, knowing you were able to come back tonight, what was key for you to kind of make an impact and kind of provide what they needed?
What they need, what the team needs is different every night. So like, tonight just so happened to be a night that I could really leave my fingerprints all over the game. They play, Lowry and Kelly and John Collins, who are some stretch bigs and can roam around the perimeter. So for JV, that's really tough if Walker Kessler's not in the game. So this was the type of game that I can leave my fingerprints on. And so, this team just needs different guys to step up every night. It's a gift and a curse to have so much talent. It really is, because we're leading at halftime and Trey Murphy had 0. My man should never have 0, but we're winning. So I don't know, we have so many guys and so many talented scorers and different guys at each position that what we need at every given night is different. And that's what is what we need to get better at going forward is every night is different, right? It could be Z one night. It could be Z in the first half like it was tonight, then BI in the second half, and CJ throughout. Like guys were great. And I just think we need to we just need to plug the holes as we see them, rather than just go in with a staunch game plan of this guy gets this many shots, this guy gets this many shots. We're too talented for that. As soon as we figure out how to use all the weapons at our disposal, it's gonna be a real problem. But tonight was just a night that I was very fortunate enough to get my fingerprints all over.
Yeah, part of the process of trying to figure out how to use all those guys has been some of the struggles lately in clutch situations. Tonight, y'all had another one. We're able to close it out. I guess, what did you kind of see different tonight when the way y'all kind of executed?
It just felt like more grit, more scrap. It felt like we weren't playing, didn't feel like we were wasting clock playing not to win or playing not to lose. And that's what it's felt like the past few games, is we've just been looking at the clock please go down. We were executing and scoring and looking at the offensive end instead of using it as an opportunity to run clock off. They can't guard us. They can't guard us. So why would we let off the gas? And again, we just need a little bit of chip, a little bit of grit. And I thought Herb was great. Najee was awesome. And again, Trey Murphy, the man was awesome. He was great. The ability as a shooter, the ability to have 0 for 3 quarters and then be able to step up and knock down the two closing threes was massive. If he wasn't out there and he didn't keep his head in the game, we probably don't win that. So everybody played their part. Again, I'm going to keep saying it, but I think the difference in tonight was just a level of tenacity.
Larry, BI seemed to really get going in that third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like a lot of them came good looks for him off of your screens. Was that a concerted effort on your part?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. BI is a downhill player, right? So if you can set screens for him high up the court and he has time to, get his long dribble out there and get to moving in and outside, in and out of the paint and whatnot. We saw it. He's a bear to guard. So slow developing plays are, I don't want to say tough for him, but he's better in a transition setting or in a setting where, the big is sprinting up into the ball screen so he can come off the screen and kind of get downhill rather than, have to pull it out and, make an ISO move. That's tough to score a lot like that. So yeah, we just try to spring him, try to free him up on random ball screens. And, my job's easy. I just got to hit the guy. He does the hard part.
And you just mentioned, right, Trey had a tough night going until the last couple of minutes. Did any of you guys say anything to him? Maybe in that fourth quarter when I think he saw his last one missed and he had to sit down. Then he came back in at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm always in Trey's ear. I'm in Trey's ear. We have a lot of guys. Corey Brewer's big time for him. In his ear. But we guys. Trey's too good. He's way too good to stay silent for a full game. He's way too good to stay silent for a full game. We knew his time was coming. We just needed to make sure he knew his time was coming. And again, I'm just so happy for him because that's a huge step in development, really.
Larry, you mentioned the scrap and the grit tonight. The other night, Willie had said that y'all just weren't the tougher team. Do you think that's something y'all are still building on, especially with you coming back and getting healthy, that you can be a tough team when you want to be?
I don't think toughness is something you build on. I think we're here. I think we're here. It's Najee, tough as nails, right? Different. He's outwardly tough as nails. Herb, not so outwardly tough, but tough. Jose, tough outwardly. Like, different guys have their own way of carrying their level of toughness, but I think you need the right group or the right people to bring it out of you. And so again, that's what I was looking for tonight. Like, I kept pulling the guys aside, like hitting them in the chest or doing little things here or there just to or pumping the crowd up, diving on the floor. So look, apparently I'm old on the team. I'm 30 and I'm old. So if I can dive on the court, there's no excuse for anybody under my age to not be diving on the court. So you try to set that toughness example of no, this is the standard, period. And so I don't think that's something we're working on. I think that's something that has to stay.
Gotcha.
Emphasis on has to.
Gotcha. And throughout the year, you've been the game recap guru. Zion Williams kind of joined it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You see his recap, or is that something you're going to get surprised?
I haven't seen it, but I didn't know that. I was planning on leaving it alone tonight. I was planning on leaving the game recap alone tonight.
What was it like for you to get that dunk in the fourth quarter? I think you dunked on somebody, and just it seemed like you reacted pretty vehemently to it.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. That's who I am. That's who I am, and it just felt good to get back to who I am. Early in the season, I would have gotten that drop off and tried to throw some BS hook or some floater, and I can make it, but that's not who I am. That's not what this team needs from me. This team, that was a major pickup. They were scoring, and we were hard time getting stops, and Z drops it off, and put their big man on a poster, their shot blocker, and it's like, oh, confidence, around the whole team. So, again, it just felt good to be me.
Larry, was there any point of the game, maybe early in the game, right when you got in, where you took a shot and you're like, okay, I can do this. My rib's going to hold up. I don't feel any pain or whatever.
Oh, they've been beating the hell out of me. No, during our pickup games. No, I knew my rib was okay. Yeah, for the past week or so, they've been checking my ribs. It was this little third one right here, but they've been checking it. But no, I'm good, and there's no pain there.
I think that the toughness question earlier was related to Willie saying after the Houston game they're a tougher team than we are right now, and there were 2 close losses, and I think maybe he meant more like mental toughness.
Yeah, possibly.
Like maybe composure in the clutch, but it also you're exhausted, but giving more effort than the other team. Could you speak to that specifically?
Yeah, I mean, there's a wall we all get to. Basketball games are supremely taxing. They're very tiring, and especially for the guys, Brandon, Z, CJ, Herb, the guys that are playing 35, 36 minutes, it's tough. At the level that they do. So, and I think JV was in that game as well, who just came off 37 or 36 minutes. It's really tough to refocus again when you see 5 minutes on it's a new game. You were up 10 or something, and got to relock in. That's a really mentally that's a really tough thing to do, to wrap your head around. It's like, oh, man, we just blew a lead again, and it's easy to sink into here we go again, one of those. But again, I guess, physical toughness is one thing, which I thought that's what you meant. So that's my fault. But mental toughness, again, that just comes with being in the situations. This is, I think since I've been here, this is the first time everyone's healthy. For the most part, right? I think this is the first time everyone's been healthy. So we're trying to figure it out. We have 7, 8 guys, 9 guys that realistically can finish a game depending on the night. So, that mental toughness has to come from somewhere. And again, tonight, it just so happened to be me, it just so happened to be me. But again, we've got plenty of guys that are willing and ready to step into that role. We just, it's got to be, we have to grow from our mistakes, right? I see all the graphics. We're 0-6 in games decided to, under 3 points. That's something good teams don't do. Where we've given up 9, 10+ point leads in the second half. That's something good teams don't do. And another thing the best teams in December, or the best teams at the end of the year, don't do is peak in December. So, yeah, we've got our lulls, we've got our mistakes, we've got our hiccups, bumps and bruises, but at the same time, I'd be more worried, concerned if we were firing on all cylinders right now, because then where do you go from here? we've got plenty of room to grow, and this team's going to be ready when it matters. Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, Larry. Thank you, man. Good game from Larry, man. Dropping some game on us on that. A lot of good game from Larry on that. Lexxah, DC, you heard that from Larry, man, who arguably played a really solid game. A lot of people consider Larry to be the player of the game, him coming in there doing his thing. A lot of good game from Larry across the team. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to chime in. Give your thoughts on Larry's conversation, if you please.
I thought it was great. It was a great interview. Just loved his energy. Just his depth as far as what he was doing on the bench to get guys involved. Just to get them in the game to boost their energy, and those vibes are contagious, and we have desperately been needing that. Just to keep our heads up, keep our heads in the game, be acclimated in the game. Not getting down when the game was close. But I like the fact that he stated that playing to win and not playing to lose. Because he also stated that guys in the last few games, they were looking up at the scoreboard instead of being locked into the game and stuff. So that can definitely, we know that that's been in the way as far as, and that's been a huge problem as far as just not playing, not playing to lose. Because that's not a good recipe as far as winning. Let's see. Yeah, I was just everybody's healthy. That's another thing that he stated. Right now, it's a good problem to have, and Matt Ryan, he's not even back just yet. But for the most part, this is the main core that was here for last season, and everybody's healthy. It's kind of weird because it almost seems like everybody has to be healthy in order for things to really work out. But hopefully we can really utilize the talent on this team to its fullest, because if we're able to do that, this team can just be more than just be like, oh, we're winning games. They can exceed expectations. And I think that's the part, because I think we all can agree that this team does have good talent, but I think it's about that good talent playing together at a high level and winning at a high level. So I think that's the biggest thing with this team. But it is good that Larry's back and guys are healthy, and it was a great interview. I really enjoyed it. I think his presence and his vibes were really contagious on the bench and out on the court, and the team really needed it.
Yeah, it was very refreshing to hear that type of candor from Larry. And you hear stuff from Willie, and it's kind of monotone. So, but hearing Larry is a fresh approach. Wouldn't mind hear from Larry.
Yeah,
Down the line, man, he gives you good game and something very refreshing. Anyway, let me go. DC, you want to chime in before I go quickly over some team and individual statistics and kind of move this along and then jump into the Lakers preview? You want to talk about Larry right quick?
Perfect example of what I was saying earlier, man, from everything he was saying, and kind of showed what he brings. I think his leadership is maybe extremely vocal. I didn't realize that. Just looking how they played, man. They his first game back, and then what he's saying about how he gets into guys. He kind of, I guess, tries to bring that energy up, man. And huge point touching on, oh, we blew another lead, and sometimes guys fatigued and going through the motions, and he's right. Like, every team needs that guy, man, that's going around amping everybody up, charging them up. we see Jose and Najee do it a lot of times, and Herb doing it with their play on the court, and they bring a edge, right, Lex? But
Mhm.
Larry might be maybe one of the more vocal ones than everybody else, and I don't think I really thought about that until hearing him talk, and from what I saw tonight, and seeing what he was doing defensively, and how guys kind of follow his lead in a way, just like I said they do with Herb and Najee and Jose as well. You know, it's like these energy guys, but I didn't really look at Larry fully like that. But hey, he showed he is.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. He played really good today to help the Pelicans out, man. Let me go through these team statistics, man, right quick. Not everything, but some of the things that stick out in the matchup. The Pelicans were almost 55% tonight, 45 of 82 shooting from the field. They were 10 of 27 from downtown for 37% flat. Very weirdly called, inconsistent called game by the referees. Pelicans only 15 attempts to the foul line. They completed 12 of 15 tonight versus the 21 to 25 by the Jazz. Pelicans 80%. They did have 27 assists tonight, 10 steals, 7 blocks, only 15 turnovers right there. And they won the fast break battle 15 to 10 and points in the paint battle 62 to 42. Largest lead was 11 points by our Pelicans. Then ultimately, the top scorer for the team tonight was Brandon Ingram, 26 points in 36 minutes, 9 of 18 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown. He was perfect from the foul line, 7 of 7 for BI, 26 points, 5 assists, 3 boards for him. Zion, actually the second scorer was CJ McCollum, 22 points in 32 minutes, 8 of 16 from the field. He had 4 3-pointers today. He finished with 6 assists, 3 rebounds along with that 22. He was plus 8 on the plus minus. And Zion, almost a triple double by Zion. He was 21. He had 21 points and 10 rebounds with 8 assists and a block, plus 7 for him in 30 minutes of action, 10 of 14 from the field, but struggled from the foul line. Only really a few things right there, 1 of 3. And then, of course, you look to the rest of the guys. We know Herb was in there hustling, doing this thing, playing really good defense on marketing. 6 points tonight, plus 6 on the plus minus in 29 minutes of action. Valanciunas, bit of an off game by Big V, 2 of 6 from the field, only 6 points, 4 boards from him tonight, but the bench was there. Larry Nance, 9 points in 25 minutes. He finished with 9.7 rebounds and 5 steals, plus 16 for Larry Nance tonight. 9 from Najee in 16 minutes with a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists, 7 from Jose Alvarado tonight, 6 from Trey Murphy, 2 really big 3-pointers down the stretch to help lift the Pelicans up. Dyson even played some. He didn't really score anything. 14 minutes was out there. Got a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists in the matchup for our Pels tonight. So the Pels handle the business. They make it count. They get back at the Jazz. They improve to 18 and 14, 10 and 7 at home. And guess who's a calling? Coming up on Sunday, like the old monster truck commercials, the Pelicans will have a matchup against the Lakers in the Smoothie King Center, 6 p.m. tip-off time. Last day of the year, 133 to 89 was the smackdown the Lakers gave to the Pelicans in the tournament. The little in-season tournament situation that occurred, that put it on our minds ever since to circle this date on the calendar. Did you see that old matchup indicator got the Pelicans in a resounding fashion, 74% versus 26% up against the Lakers?
What the hell is going on here?
Well,
Oh,
go ahead.
no.
Tell him, Lex. No, don't say that.
Go ahead, Lex. You the
y'all-
predictor of the matchup indicator.
game,
Go ahead,
Lex.
Lex.
Drop game, Lex.
Some
Well,
gambling again?
well, yeah, but I will say this: since the in-season tournament, the Lakers have a losing record. They're like 2-6 or 2-7 or something. So they have not been winning. I mean, the teams that they have been beating, they've been lower tier teams. So that's why they had that, because they have not been playing well. You got to understand, any tournament time, the Lakers don't do well against a lot of teams, especially against like younger teams. But for the tournament, they were really exerting themselves, and they talked about that. They were really exerting, like doing extra, but how they were playing in the in-season tournament games, that wasn't something that they were going to be able to sustain. And so since then, as you can see, Indiana hasn't been doing well either. It's like they went back to how they usually play or something. I don't know. But the Lakers, I just know for sure that they're not able to sustain that type of longevity, because in order for this team to win, LeBron has to play at his best. And so does AD. And even when they play at their best, that doesn't mean that they're going to win. So, but yeah, that's why they have it like that, because they really have not been doing well.
And there you have it. Thanks, Lex, for keeping your eye on the enemy and giving us a progress report of their failures. I'm extremely ecstatic about this.
Are you no, I mean, hey, you got to pay attention, man. You know, I mean, hey, I'm still upset about that game, man. I'll probably be upset about that game right there for the rest of the season, maybe even going into the next season.
Well, so what if they go in and let's say we blow the Lakers out by 25? That wouldn't do it for you?
We need to blow them out by 60, and then
God
we
damn,
need to.
Lex.
No, they beat us by 44, right?
Yeah.
44. Yeah. I'm being nice. I'm being nice. That was on a big stage, a very big stage, not just any stage. That was a big stage. It was on TNT, but the fact that it was a tournament game, yeah, they need to beat them by 60, and that's being nice.
Well, let's talk about that, DC and Lex. Let's talk about that. How do the Pelicans get this dub against the Lakers? Do you guys feel? Because I think the Pelicans will represent.
Don't let them shoot and make 27 3-pointers. How about let's start there?
What DC? Who you want game plan against? I know you want to talk about
Okay.
LeBron. How do we stop Cam Reddish?
Okay, what? Okay, can we not?
I don't even understand the question.
Can
He
you
said
stop?
something about LeBron and then Cam Reddish.
This dude said,
"You all right?
DC,
Are you sick?"
DC,
What?
DC. That's DC's Dominique Wilkins. DC
You got
No.
what that stuff they be saying on TV?
Oh,
Coco
man.
meningitis or something? You got some new type of disease or
All
something?
right, go
Uh,
ahead. Go ahead,
uh,
Lex. DC tripping. So let's
look,
hear.
Nah, you tripping.
Look, hey, energy.
That man ain't even
Energy.
playing.
Okay, they got to come out with energy. They got to come out and put their foot on their necks and keep it on there and press it down and keep pressing it. Okay, that's what they got to do. They need to call up on all, everything that they have. Okay, and send a strong message. I know they're not getting to the in-season finals and things, but they need to send a message back to the Lakers. Yeah, that game, that game right there was that wasn't us, but this is who we are. That's what they need to do. But they definitely got to come out with a lot of energy. I don't want the Lakers to outplay nobody on that court. Nobody. I don't want anybody outplaying us. So, I mean, we got to come and what it's going to be at the SKC, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, man, don't let nobody outplay you. Anybody in that yellow, do not let them outplay you. Don't let them beat you down the court. Don't let them do any of that. And then, play defense, get out and run, get out in transition. I would say some other things, but really I just keep it on the players, man, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are out there and they got to carry it out. But man, y'all, hey, if you tired, like I want them to go like extra hard, and hopefully, like if they do that, because after this game, man, going into January, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man. The schedule. I've looked at the schedule ahead. It's gonna get tougher. But we this is a great game to really punch somebody going in over into the new year. So, yeah, those are the biggest things for me.
Go ahead, DC.
Yeah, just looking at the last game, obviously, LeBron is a big focal point, right? Um,
I
but
mean, it's not.
also, huh?
No, you can keep going. My bad.
Damn, not you too. But also, them hitting the 3-pointers really killed us. But that's kind of what you want to force Brian into. So um the Pels they got to figure out a way, man, how to not let Brian kill us. The last few times we played them, that's pretty much what happened. So this is a game where we're gonna have to. I don't know if you want it to be the Anthony Davis game either. He's actually been playing pretty well, even though they've been losing. But you can't let Brian kill us, man, and you can't get killed on the 3-point line. So defense is actually going to be huge here. But I say the defense is failing us. Willie has to be able to adjust and read the room, man. Because we might have to lean offensive heavy if we can't stop these guys. But nonetheless, if Zion and Bi can show some of the positive signs I've seen tonight, especially in clutch moments in the game, of being able to play off of each other. Get some Zion, Bi pick and rolls like we've been begging for. Saw it tonight, worked tremendously. Trey hit a very clutch 3-pointer off of that. I think we can go ahead and get the Lakers, man. Cam Reddish is out; he ain't playing. Gabe Vincent. They don't know who the hell they want to be the starting point guard. D'Angelo Russell was starting. Now they moved him to the bench. They don't want to know if they want Austin Reeves starting off the bench. They're in a little bit of disarray as well. So I think we're also playing them at the right time. But in order for us to beat this team, man, we got to bring our A game because for whatever reason, LeBron seems to get up playing against us. Anthony Davis obviously has a big reason to want to, play well against us and get that W. Bi needs to show that as well. And most of the time, I've seen Zion kind of get up for this game when he's able to play in it. So I think the Pels get the dub. After seeing what I saw tonight, I think they can carry that over. And with the added benefit of remembering what happened last game, it should ensure that they play with an edge. 6 o'clock game, so not too late. Really gonna enjoy watching this one, man. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think I have to agree with both of you guys. I do think the Pelicans will beat the Lakers. I don't know if it'll be by 40, but it'll be one of those games where they'll give full out effort. They will remember what happened to them during the tournament. Anthony Davis, when he's healthy, he always plays well against the Pels. Obviously, we know what that is. He's coming back here. And we're gonna have some issues with that. But at the end of the day, man, we got to take care of business. And I think they will. And they'll close out the 2023 year and open up the 2024 year. Lexxah, you're right. I peeked at that schedule. That schedule
Yeah.
starting 2024 is very daunting,
It's
but at the same time, I'm glad it is because it'll
it's
attest
kind of
this.
suffocating. Yeah,
I
but
know, but this is what we need. That January. Remember,
yeah.
this is the thing. Remember, last year we ended on a high note, right? This year,
Mhm.
and you know what happened after that. This is not the case this time around. We're actually healthy starting this new year off. And I really do think how the team, and even Larry, and we talked about this for years when they were putting this team together and this guy would get hurt, this other guy would get hurt. It was really frustrating. So finally, we get all these guys together at the same time. And January will be a pressure cooker of sorts for the Pelicans to kind of get a lot of this stuff ironed out so we can get ready for when this stuff really gets really where it's supposed to be when we get close to the playoff window. But things start opening up after the All-Star break. And of course, those rumors will start circulating. So we'll have to deal with the trade rumors because that'll start heating up. But at the same time, I'm excited because I want to see how they deal with that tough schedule in January, plus the trade rumors and all this stuff happening. They got to get ready for it because if they want to be one of those top teams, they're going to have to deal with this type of stuff, and they're going to have to beat those top teams, those echelon teams, and have a better thing. And not so much of it's our players, but Willie Green really needs to improve. He really does need to improve
There you
because
go.
his calls a lot of times kind of get in the way and make the game a lot more difficult than what it has to be. So he is no excuse. He has to improve along with this team. He really does. Seriously. So
Yeah.
anyway, y'all want to add to that before we get ready to go?
Oh yeah, I agree. Even on tonight, there were some things that were pretty questionable that I had, but yeah, we really we really got to do better in that department, in the coaching department, man. I mean, as far as calling plays, like I said earlier, um, when we were listening to Willie's presser, I wasn't feeling his statements on Trey. As far as him, but sometimes you're not gonna have it. I'm like, dude, you can draw up some plays to get him acclimated like earlier in the game instead of not calling anything at all. I just think that's the wrong mentality to have. Like, oh, it's not your night, and you'll have other nights. That to me that's a poor excuse. Like, call up some plays. This guy is a talented player. He's 6'11" with a ridiculous wingspan who can shoot 30, 40 feet out. You can't have someone come and screen them and, you know, get them those shots. I mean, it's just basic things. And that's not just for him, but obviously, he would, he hit those two great shots, but we could have seen more of that. I really like Trey. I like his game. I like to see more of what he can do out there. But, it's kind of hard when you see a player that's struggling, your coach is not calling up any plays for you. I think that's horrible. You really want to, help build confidence, when you're in the game and you're seeing your player not doing well, especially at his caliber. So, that's just one thing. But, as far as the adjustments and things, like, because we're going to be going up against better teams, we got to be ready. We got to be ready. And, I'm glad we got the win, but getting a win, the Utah Jazz, I mean, we have been struggling on winning against this team particularly. But, it's not just a win. It's an 82 game season. And again, it's asking the question, what type of team are we trying to be? Are we trying to be a borderline playing team? Are we trying to be an okay team? Are we trying to be a team that's sending a statement in well in the top four? See, that makes a huge difference. It's all about how we're winning. Right now, we have not been successful at winning close games. That's something that, I don't want to forget that stuff. I don't want to forget the blowout win or blowout loss against the Lakers. I don't want to forget any of that stuff because this team needs a huge wake-up call and we need to come up. We can do better. We can. And I think his fans are well in their rights to expect, for this team to come up because you have all this talent. We have a good problem. So now we got to figure out, Willie has, he has a good problem on his hands. He's got to take this talent and he's got to make this talent great. Make these guys work together, set them up to succeed and not just win, but win in a big way, win at a high level. Because all this, hey man, it's coming. January is going to be rough. It's going to be rough. So, I mean, we got to hurry up and turn it around. And it's not just the players, it's the coaching too. Everybody's got to step it up. Everybody's got to step it up. Because right now, it's not enough everybody's being healthy. Okay, yeah, everybody's healthy. So what? You still have to play together. You still have to win. You still got to know your personnel. You still have to draw up plays, good plays. So we're gonna see when January comes. We're definitely gonna see.
Yes, indeed, we will. I'm looking forward to it. I ain't gonna. We talk about being tested. We'll have some really good teams we have to go against, and it's coming, man. So anyway, with that being said, listen, we're gonna get ready to end the stream. I'd like to thank all of you guys for tuning into this episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We in this thing. Much love. Thank you guys. The Pelicans get the dub tonight. We improve. Next on the chopping block is the Lakers for some payback, man. So that's what we need to do. We'll focus on that moving forward. So with that being said, we will pop back in here. We'll be back on the recap stream on Sunday afternoon, 6 p.m. after the game. It'll probably be around 8 or so. We'll pop back up and recap the thing, and we'll talk more about the Pels. So with that being said, I'm going to get on that.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below.